going live.
All right, guys, we're live. You can see we got Paul here. Jason should be joining us very shortly. So we'll have all three of us tonight. Let's get down to some quick business tonight. Again, like this if you're on here right now, but you got to subscribe. Hit the subscription button. We lost a few subscribers last week, and then we gained a couple more back. So let's just keep gaining. Let's don't do anything to lose them. Okay, and share it with all your friends, and if you got any friends at UCLA, go ahead and share this podcast with them too, because they'll get a kick out of it and they'll just laugh at us anyway. Okay, so well, first of all, we thought since the women's game just ended, we could just kind of start with that real quick. Paul, just kind of give me your thoughts on the women beating Virginia Tech tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was my first chance to see the women this year. I know they had played a couple of games on the Plus or whatever, and I didn't get to watch those. So my first impressions are that they're not as talented offensively, right? They don't have the one superstar offensive player, but they have a lot of really good pieces, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, instead of having that A+, top 2 or 3 player, in the game, and not just for Iowa, but for all of women's college basketball. I mean, Caitlin Clark deserves to be right up there with mentioned in with the elite of the elite, right? So I like what they've done. They looks like they're playing inside out a little bit. They're definitely working the posts and playing good defense. And so I'm excited to see how the team continues to gel with all the new faces. But as of right now, I mean, that Virginia Tech is they're a similar level of competition to Iowa. They're a ACC opponent. So that was a good early season test to see where they are, and I think they passed it with flying colors. Coach, welcome in, sir.
Hey, as everybody can see, Jason joined us a little bit late, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go potty. I had to get a drink. I had stuff to do after the Iowa game.
Right.
You guys have noticed you can't see it on me as much, but you will see that Jason's wearing his new Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports T-shirt. Paul, have you gotten yours yet?
I have not gotten mine yet, but I'm actually donning this Navy veterans shirt that my wife got me. As I say, Happy Veterans Day to all the fellow vets out there.
There's mine right there.
This year's Army-Navy game is going to be amazing, Paul. I can't wait.
It really will be. It's going to be so fun to watch.
Army's got Notre Dame this weekend, so I think it's going to be – the winning streak will be over, but it's still going to be fun.
You know what? They could give Notre Dame all they want. So.
You're right. I mean, it's very possible, right? I'm just going off of the football. Hi, Kelvin. Haven't heard much from you. Oh, can I say something real quick to Hank?
Yes.
Our last episode, Hank asked, about the coach I was talking about. Mm-hmm. I said Texas. I rewatched the live to see what I said, and I said Texas Tech. G.J. Kinney actually coaches for Texas State. That's the guy who I would love to have. He runs the veer and shoot offense. See, I would love for him to get an interview at Iowa. Not Texas Tech. It was Texas State.
Okay.
Whatever reason, I was thinking about Mike Leach in that moment because I was talking about stuff air raid, and then I went to.
I would love to run whatever the service academies run now. The Army and Navy offenses are fun to watch. I mean, if people haven't watched them because, they're a service academy and they're doing a lot more than just the basic triple option stuff.
Since they changed the rules on the offensive line, they had to adjust. And actually, I mean, it's a lot more exciting than it was. Like before, it was the 3 yards and a cloud of dust type, everything in here, right? Now they go to shotgun. They do all kinds of different. Their offense, they still do the triple option,
Yep.
but it's completely different because they can't cut block anymore like they used to. So they changed up their offensive schemes.
They broadened them. Like they didn't leave the triple option behind, but how they run the plays and their angles of attack and all of that's different, and it's made them more explosive.
Oh, I agree. No, I 100% agree. They're fun. Fast food. Oh yeah, yep. San Marcos. You're right. Oh, you live there? Have you gone to a game? You should. I absolutely love watching Texas State. I don't miss a game. Sometimes they struggle, but I mean, he's wait till their next quarterback. They have a 4-star freshman who played this last game because they're going to give him his 4 games, right? Which I think more coaches should do that, right? With your freshmen. Like if you know you want them to get ready for the following year, you're not going to the playoff, right? You're going to be bowl eligible. Play your freshmen throughout the game. You don't have to have them start, right? They still use their quarterback, their starter, but he's a senior. So they put in their true freshman who's a 4-star, and he was really good. He rushed for over 100 yards, and he didn't even play the whole game. I think more coaches should do that. That's actually a good.
Well,
I wonder what your guys' thoughts on that are.
Well, I feel like you're talking about a certain team that we watch week in and week out, and here we are.
Do that.
I mean, here we are, 6-4. The playoffs are out of the question. The Big Ten's out of the question. At this point, well, why not? Give the guys some reps. Unless you're trying to hide them from the transfer portal or something. I mean, but I would think most of the guys that would be transferring out of Iowa would probably be transferring down. I mean,
yeah.
We don't have those, former 4- and 5-star guys that would jump into the portal for a payday.
Guys, I don't think we've got much choice to play those people because we're like our injury list is growing each game.
Well, at certain positions, but I'm more talking about like since I don't think Iowa uses that ability. Like it's been that way for what 4 or 5 years now.
At least a few.
Yeah, and we could have used that on Marco last year when we had Heavy D playing.
Right.
I mean, no quarterback would have done any worse than what Heavy D was doing. So it's kind of stuff like that. They should have used him the last 4. He didn't have to play the whole game, but they could have gave him game reps and see how he did.
The problem is, and this is what drives some of these fans crazy, we kept winning, even with heavy bacon back there.
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing is there's one thing you can't take away from Kirk. He can win without a quarterback.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Just you can bring in whoever you want to play quarterback. That doesn't mean you're going. Now he's used to having a great defense. Imagine if we had last year's defense this year. I honestly don't think they lose to Michigan State. I don't think they lose to Iowa State if they had last year's defense. They definitely don't lose to UCLA with last year's defense. I mean, it's weird. We had 8.
But aren't they pretty much the same people as last year?
Yeah, I think it was 8 of 11. Kelvin could probably correct me.
I think you're right, actually.
But it was 8 of 11, I believe, return. It looks nothing like last year, right? I mean, even on that 3rd and 8, I know we're getting ahead. Well, I'll wait, but on that 3rd and 8, Harris is the one that gave up that first down to end the game.
Right.
So, anyways, you guys already go through the Iowa women's basketball game?
No, he was just giving us his thoughts, but for some reason we jumped already because Paul kind of segued into it.
I got ADHD, man. I'll take a topic and just run.
Yeah, no, I was gonna steer us back. Let's talk about the women tonight.
Okay.
Lucy Olson is everything she's advertised.
Yeah, she is.
As far as I'm concerned.
And
Addie O'Grady tonight, 9 of 9 for 18 points. I mean, I had not seen that confidence out of her last year. And I don't really know that she improved any more than last year. I just think she didn't have Caitlin breathing down her back this year, and it allowed her to be more herself. That's my personal opinion.
I'm quite certain she's gotten quite a bit better. I mean, they talked on the broadcast about her changing her body, and she definitely does seem more athletic. Stronger.
No, she's definitely more athletic. She looks a lot better than she did last year, in my opinion. I just think she's gotten that much better with that much more time with Jan, Coach Jan, the big lady.
The post guru.
There you go. I was trying to think of how to say it, because you know how we always in men we always call it the big man, right?
Right.
So I was trying to think of how to say it, but yeah, she is the post guru, the 4 and the 5, right?
Didn't we hire somebody to do the coach the post this year so Jan could focus on her head coaching duties?
Well, I mean, they're really, dang well she's still focusing on. She's probably teaching whoever she hired to coach.
Right.
She's still working with the post. As the head coach, she can do whatever. There's really not a whole lot of duties, right? She doesn't have a position to coach. So in practice, instead of being off here looking at whatever, she could still help out with the post. I bet she's still helping.
They showed Kathleen Doyle on the Virginia Tech staff. I didn't know that.
I saw that. She, she had to be just a little bit one in Iowa.
She probably
anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jason. Go for it.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just going to say, going off of what we were talking about, Jan also said that, you guys should watch that podcast, that Taco something with Jada.
Yeah.
Jim.
I watch it all the time. Every Tuesday she has a new episode.
Did you watch the one with the girls?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you'll know what I'm talking about as well, because I believe they talked about this on that. Mm-hmm. But Jan was really excited talking about how Caitlin came in and was coaching the girls up. She was like acting like she was a coach. And Jan just loved every second of that. Like,
I think everybody's seen that video of Caitlin getting excited at the practice.
Oh, I didn't see a video. I didn't know there was a video.
There's a video out there.
I've only heard Jan talk about it, and then I watched that podcast, and I heard the girls talking about it. Instead of Kate Martin being the coach, it was actually Caitlin.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think Caitlin's
this year could be exciting. Look at what happened tonight. I'm like, it's going to be completely different. They're missing a lot of passes, right? You could tell that they struggle to feed down to the post and stuff, and to pass it out. Strombo, is that her name?
Strumlow.
She can see the court. She made a good pass. Like, she threw a touchdown. To actually, that tells you right there. O'Grady's getting better, or she's more athletic with her body, because she sprinted the court, beat everybody down, and she caught the ball over the shoulder. But tonight, I think it was
Mrs. Duez Henderson, Randy Peterson. That's it. That's who I was trying to think of. Thank you, Kelvin.
We had Olsen score 18. We had O'Grady score 18. We had Stolke score 16. Like, I mean, it was, and everybody was getting assists. Did you see how even Stolke was looking to pass? Mm-hmm. Like, it was just a great game to watch. I think
it was, because everybody's involved, and it's more of a balanced team this year. Everybody's getting involved. You don't know where the hot person's going to be, because you're not going to have a Caitlin Clark there to get hot every night and then feed you buckets. And the thing that really, I guess the announcers were calling that, Hannah's used to rim running, I guess, catching balls from Caitlin and laying them in. But I love the way she was so aggressive and looking for her shots today. Some of the spin moves that she did, getting in behind the defense. And
did you see she looked like a post? Did you see the bench get excited when she did that reverse back?
Yeah.
Jan would jumped up, and they were all excited as well. Because she used the post move, right? It wasn't just a layup. It was like she caught the ball with her back to the basket, and then she did a few.
With her in the 4 position this year and having experience at the 5, it should just make her a deadly force at the 4.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Falter is going to be the Big Ten 6 person of the year, 6 woman of the year, 6.
She'll be starting. once she gets her legs back and stuff, she'll be starting.
Yeah.
You think so? I really like the lineup that we came out with using O'Grady.
I agree with you, but I think she starts for McCabe.
I'm gonna agree with Jason on this one because as much as I like McCabe and would love to see her out there pumping threes, she's been very inconsistent, and I don't think her defense is as good as Feuerbach's.
Well, you read my mind that her defense isn't very good. Where a Fulter even being a little limpy, she had much better defense. McCabe was she just needs to bulk up or play the point, one of the two. She just was getting taken off the dribble, like it was not good on defense.
It's nice to have somebody be able to come off your bench like Sydney can and provide a spark.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, some coaches do that where you don't start your best five because you want them coming off the bench as well. And then I think McCaffrey actually does that, or he distributes the minutes the way the game is going. Like not all the time your starters play the most minutes with McCaffrey. So I think McCaffrey kind of feels the same way you do, Paul, as far as he doesn't start his best five on a lot of times because you'll see guys come off the bench that actually play more than the starters. Just depends on how the game's going. Like in the game where McCabe gets hot, because you know it will happen, I think she's already hit 6 or 7 in one game. Those games, she'll probably get a lot of minutes because she's hot, right? You want her to stay in. But then when she's not hot, and if she's getting beat off the dribble like she was tonight, I think they'll probably take her out, put a Fulter in, move. Well, actually, they play positionless basketball for the most part. So 1 through 3 is basically the same. They have a point guard, but 1 through 3 is basically anybody can bring the ball up the court.
I noticed that they put out there Ava Hayden and Strimlow and Keegan or God, I can't even get her name right. But anyway, Mulaney but I noticed that Mulaney and Hayden didn't play much after the first half, if they even played at all.
It was because the game, what was it? Didn't they cut it to 2?
They cut it to 3, I think, at halftime.
Yeah.
Right. So
you could be right. It could have been 2 too.
But either way, if the game would have stayed within like 15 to 20 points, they probably got more playing time. But once the game got down where it was close, they couldn't just throw in the freshmen, right? Yeah. So that's why they kept the starters on the court longer.
Yeah. Yeah, Kelvin, you don't think Virginia Tech's going to be very good this year? You know, they got several players back. They do have a new coach. Probably would finish 13th in the Big Ten, but good job by Iowa today. I just think this was a good test. Iowa needed a test like this because Northern Illinois and whoever else they played aren't real super tests for them.
Right.
You know, this is a test, and I think we got another cakewalk, and then we go to Drake. I think it's Drake next after that sometime.
I think it's a big game. Don't they have a big game coming up?
Yeah.
Cooper's having a great night, just so everybody knows. He had a 31-yard punt return and a fumble recovery.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's had a good game.
So Cooper's no longer just on special teams. He's also getting in
he's starting. Yeah, he's starting corner now.
I knew it wouldn't take Coop long.
But when they go to nickel, he moves into the nickel spot.
Yeah.
Which would be like our cash.
Okay. Well, good job for Coop. You know, all of our Iowa Hawkeyes going to the NFL have done really well, and you know, that's one thing we can say for our recruiting. We pump a lot of kids into the NFL.
Okay, Dean, you're right. I think I must be thinking about the men. The women really don't play. Drake's pretty good. The Drake women are good.
The Drake women are good.
They don't. They play Kansas, Washington State, Rhode Island, BYU. Like they don't really play very good teams this month.
I don't know. Right. Look out for
Iowa State. What in December?
What'd you say, Paul?
Got Iowa State in December.
I said, look out for BYU.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be a tournament team.
Yeah, they have money on their side.
I thought they had a top team, but they don't. Their first ranked team is Iowa State, but they do play Tennessee. It surprised me it surprises me Tennessee's not ranked. They're really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Paul,
Yeah.
what I was talking about earlier, or no, that was talking to somebody else about it. That Tennessee game, that tournament that they're going to be in with Tennessee, that's the game that the tournament officials who offered Caitlin $1 million to come back. I believe UConn is in that same tournament.
Interesting.
Last year, but she turned it down because she'd already, when they offered it to her, I think she'd already said no to returning. But yeah, I can't remember who else. Iowa, Tennessee, and I think UConn and somebody else in that. But
I don't think. I mean, with all the records she was getting, I think she would have felt bad coming back.
I think so too.
She was just ready to move on. I mean, she was there. She was ready.
She wouldn't have. She would have made those numbers way too high. Then it would have kind of, with everybody who was just talking smack about her shooting 40 times a game or whatever, it would have just fueled that fire even more. Well, hell, she played an extra year, right? That would be, anytime you bring it up, then you'd have to be like, okay, but she already had the record before she left. It would have been like that all the time.
Yeah. She can always say, I did it in 4 years, guys. I did it in 4 years. All right. You guys wanted to move on and talk some, unfortunately, football?
I don't see it as unfortunate.
Well, I just want to say a couple things about it real quick. I was at the game. I want to talk a little bit about my experience at the game. Okay. So I'd never been to the Rose Bowl before, and so even though it wasn't a true Rose Bowl game, going to the Rose Bowl was so cool.
How far of a drive is that for you? How far of a trip was it for you?
It took us a little over 2 hours to get there and an hour and a half to get home.
That's not bad.
No. And this is funny because we were going to go to Old Town Pasadena, park our car, and take a free shuttle to the front gate. Okay. But we decided to do that after I already punched in our directions to the Rose Bowl, but I forgot to cancel the Rose Bowl ones. The Rose Bowl directions were dominating the other one. So we ended up at the Rose Bowl. And so we decided, okay, well, we're just going to stay here. Then we're going to find a parking place. We pull into parking lot K, and the lady says, hey, I see you got a handicap sign on your window. We go, yeah. She goes, is one of you guys the handicap person? I go, yeah, me. And she goes, okay. She says, turn your car around, make a U-turn, and go back to parking lot B. She goes, because that's a handicap parking spot, and it's right next to the stadium.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So we go and park it. But in California, and had the handicap sticker, I have to have my little place card with all my ID information on it and extra. You got the place card, plus you got the information that you have to keep with the handicap card to prove it. So I had to prove that. I'm thinking, thank God I had it with me because I don't always carry it. So that was so much fun. And then Coca-Cola had set up a big free party. You got your pizza, your free drinks. They gave you a free holiday Coke can with your picture on it.
What?
Yeah. I even took video. I don't remember the coach's name for UCLA, but I even took the UCLA team marching in behind the coach, coming off the buses.
You should have took a picture of Paul. He wants a Coke can with his face on it. Did you see his face? He was like, what?
Hey, we got there with 3 hours to spare for the thing, so we had plenty of time to tailgate and walked over to the tailgating places where all the Iowa fans were at. Stood right next to Kent McCausland, and I'm going, damn, he's tall. I wouldn't have recognized him had I not just seen him on TV for a men's basketball game a couple of games ago.
Okay.
And he wears that bright yellow Iowa jacket. Yeah. But I couldn't think of his name, so I didn't say much to him except I go, dude, you've got a nice jacket there. He goes, oh, thank you.
Did he have his family with him? I'll have to ask his daughter. His daughter follows me on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to ask her. Did he have his family? Was Mac with him? Was anybody else with?
I didn't ask about that because I didn't. I would, like I said, if I hadn't seen him on TV at a basketball game just a couple games ago, I would not have recognized him.
Yeah.
But man, that dude's tall.
So you were at the game. You're at the Rose Bowl. It sure seemed like on TV that there was a very good Iowa crowd there and I'm wondering since Iowa's not going to be in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if some people decided, hey, let's go watch a game in the Rose Bowl and call that our bowl trip this year.
Well, that's what kind of where I want to get to, okay? Because everybody knows the story of the game, so we don't have to dwell a lot on the game.
Oh, I want to talk about it though.
I know you do. Okay, but what really impressed me is most of the Iowa people were on the side of where the Iowa football team was, right?
Right.
We were on that side, and you don't know, you know how where you're on Kennick, you're on top of the players. Not so in the Rose Bowl. You're like about as far away that the bottom. You're like a miles away.
Oh wow.
You're not on top of the team. But anyhow, so but anyway, there was a few UCLA people spattered inside our zone. But I would say I bet we outnumbered them 2-3.
Really?
Yeah, on there because when you looked across the way at the UCLA fans, you just saw pockets and pockets and pockets of empty bleachers. I took a picture right before kickoff to show somebody who asked me. He texted me and wanted to know what it looked like, and I took a picture and sent it to him of what the empty seats looked like right before halftime. I mean, right before kickoff. And it's just like, wow. But they were louder than us. They were really a lot louder than us, and they're really obnoxious. Because the people that were on our side that were near me, UCLA fans, were very obnoxious. But anyway, that's a different story. But I want to just tell you guys about how cool it is when they come out of their tunnel. Mm-hmm. First the non-starters all run out and go to the sideline. Okay. And then they dim down the lights and do some fireworks. And then they form a long line and they introduce each individual player that starts. So you have to sit there through all the starters coming out. And then every time one comes out, and they put his up there on the screen and they shoot off a firework and blah, blah, blah. But I just thought that was kind of cool. So now, now that I gave you a little bit of my experience.
I need to correct something. Correct something because I had a brain fart. My brain's dumb. You guys already know this.
Okay.
Mac passed away. I meant to say Kent's sister. That's what I meant. Like Mac passed away.
Yes. Yeah, but she's on Amy. You're talking about Amy McCausland, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She's on my page too. Yeah.
Was she with?
I wouldn't know if I know because I don't know her when I would see her.
Did you see a Burnett?
Well, there's a lot of those around. And I saw a guy put on an old time helmet and give Kenny's get up there on a platform in front of all the Hawkeye fans, had it memorized to perfection. Kenny's Heisman Award winning speech, the one that they play this speech at the.
So you literally saw a guy get. You literally saw a guy get on his soapbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. I mean, the guy was drunken or skunk, but that was so cool that he was able to rattle that speech off word for word without missing a beat. I even took some video of it. Sometimes I'll send it to you guys sometime.
Yeah.
When my brain messes up that bad, don't leave me hanging like that. Correct me. I would have been bad if I didn't all of a sudden remember that Mac was passed.
No, Kelvin. Although I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of movie stars and TV stars and singers and celebrities that if I saw them on the street face to face, I wouldn't know who they are. So
fair.
I could probably walk past Taylor Swift on the street and not even know it.
Did you see Barack Obama? Apparently he was there.
I heard he was there, but nobody mentioned it around us. So he must have been up in the press boxes.
Okay.
In the boxes because, I definitely did not see him. So, yeah, I think I heard that from Terry. Terry said something about Obama being there.
He's not as flamboyant as Trump is, right? Trump would have been up there waving and to get the crowd going.
So is he a UCLA graduate or something? Is that why he was there? Because it was homecoming for UCLA.
I don't know. Somebody else would have to tell me about it. I mean, Kelvin probably knows. I think Kelvin is.
I thought he was from Illinois and went to school in Illinois somewhere.
I mean, I don't know anything about his personal life, but yeah, I just know he's different than Trump because we all seen Trump at sporting events, right?
Right.
He just waves and the crowd goes crazy. And
yeah, well, he wants to be seen. He goes to be seen. I doubt if Obama goes to be seen anymore.
Right. No, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now you got to pay for Obama to be seen.
Did Dean just say he don't know? What'd you say? Go ahead.
He ain't doing that for free. Obama.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. You got to pay.
Kelvin just asked you about Holly Berry. Do you really not know Holly Berry?
I know who she is. I've heard of her. But like I said, I don't see enough of her in movies and stuff and shows or whatever to realize that if I saw her on the street that I would recognize her.
What?
I would. This is probably what would happen. My wife and I would walk by her and I go, damn, she looks familiar, but I don't know where I would know her from.
Catwoman, dang it. I love She made Catwoman for me when I was young.
Oh, really?
I love that movie because of Holly Berry.
Yeah.
I always think of her as Storm. So
I will tell you, I did recognize Bob Newhart when he got off an airplane when I was picking my sister up. Back in those days, you could go to the gate and wait for your loved ones. Yeah. But Bob Newhart was the first one off the plane, and he walked right past me, and I wanted to stop and get a picture or an autograph with him, but he just kind of pushed right past me. But that dude was shorter than I am, and anybody who's seen me in person knows I'm short because I'm only 5'5".
You're taller than Danny DeVito. He's only 4'11".
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But to get to the game, Kevin.
Okay, yeah. Let's move on to the game itself. Now, did you guys feel like I did after we got off to a quick 10-0 start and we'd snuffed out one of their drives with a interception that in the end zone that we were on our way to victory, or did you guys feel like I didn't quite like the way they drove that first drive, but we did stop them with an interception?
No, because I don't even worry about the first quarter. I don't care if they were down. Like I always tell you, a game is 4 quarters, regardless if you're winning in the first or if you're losing in the first. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. The first quarter is just to get everybody comfortable with each other on what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens sometimes you get out to a 21-0 lead, and then that could turn into something because the kids will be like, oh, well, shoot. Right. But it was only 10-0. And it didn't look like any different than what I thought. They still couldn't run the ball. Mm-hmm. The reason, and what was positive was Sullivan hit Gill on that deep ball. And I was like, okay, that they needed to keep doing that because UCLA was geared to stop the run. They didn't care about anything. They let Sullivan do whatever he wanted, throwing the ball wise. Mm-hmm. Every ball that Sullivan threw for the most part was to a wide open receiver, right? They didn't cover the wide receiver screens. We throw it on the very first play of the game, I think, and it goes for 31 yards down the sideline. I want to say it was the first play of Iowa offense. It maybe was the second. But then they didn't do that play again, and they were giving them the wide receiver screen. They legit had everybody ready to shut down KJ. Mm-hmm. He was their only thing. They wanted to shut – that's why Sullivan does not help KJ at all. But that's why his average yards per carry with Sullivan is only 4, right? 5.5 against Wisconsin with the 92nd ranked run defense. And then UCLA, 2.7. But UCLA was the 11th ranked defense, like I said, before the game even started.
Yeah. I got a question for you, though. While we're still talking about that, when Stratton came in and they lightened up the box – and obviously KJ could have had more space. Why wouldn't we going back to KJ a little more?
No, it's a good question. But, I mean, Stratton showed he's accurate. He was putting the ball where it should be, right? He had one pass dropped. I think he finished 4 for 7. You guys can correct me. But he let him down. They scored a touchdown. But once they put Stratton in, they backed up because Stratton could actually throw. Mm-hmm. They were kind of nervous, even though he didn't have any stats. But they were like, okay, we have to back up and see what he can do, right? They knew who Sullivan was. They knew if they just let him throw the football, he was going to throw interceptions. Like I've just been telling you that all year. If he throws 2 touchdowns, he's going to throw 2 interceptions. And that's what now he's 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And a fumble, right? Sullivan doesn't help at all. And all these people who don't like reality, when you tell them, like you can legit look. When people say Sullivan opens it up for KJ, now he's going to go off. No, he doesn't, because they need a quarterback that's going to throw the ball. Now, Cade, you look at his stats, they don't mean crap. Like they don't look good at all, but the defense attacks differently because Cade's in there. It's not about the stats. It's about what the quarterback can do. Regardless of what Cade's stats are, they're perceived by defensive coordinators that he can throw the football, right? He's still completing 60% of his passes. So that's how it's perceived, which still opens it up for KJ. Now they're legit sending everybody to stop one person to stop Sullivan. As you saw, he wasn't able to get loose at all. And then they set everybody else at KJ. And he was just getting stuck. Now, did you know it's 50? I think it wasn't like 40 of his rushing yards came with Stratton in the game, or 50? Like they were able to run the football when they brought Stratton in.
Yeah.
Like there were so many things in that game that just boggled my mind, because they could have kept throwing it with Sullivan, but they needed to do like wide receiver screens. They needed to make UCLA say, okay, we have to adjust to this. Sorry,
what happened
Paul.
to bootlegs and rollouts? Why didn't we see any of that?
Those really aren't in. If you've noticed all year, they don't really do that very often. They usually do it a couple times a game. I think Paul and I actually did that in one of your shows, where we discussed the first play of the game was a bootleg, and the first play of the second half. Remember that? I think it was against Minnesota. It was a bootleg, but they adjusted on how quickly he got the ball out of his hands. Like the very first play of the game, they looked deep. The very first play of the second half against Minnesota, he threw it short to the tight end, and they gained like 20 yards on it. He just turned, looked, and threw it.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I ask is because when we do it, we seem to move the ball a little better. But it's like, you remember years ago when we had the running back shortage that we went through for a couple of years, that they used Drew Tate and he did a lot of rollouts and bootlegs so that he could move the pocket away from the running back so that he could get some people free.
I can tell you the difference there, and maybe this is what Lester's thinking. I know everybody's going to blame KF, but if Cade starts, it's Lester. It's not KF, so I'll just throw that out there.
Okay.
But anyway, it's that's like apples and oranges, because Drew Tate was deadly accurate. He could throw on the run, like Drew Tate. Sullivan's not accurate in the pocket a lot of the times, and throwing on the run, he can't do very well. So it's basically that what the defense wants Sullivan to do is to throw the ball, and they challenged him, and Iowa didn't even attack him in the way they could, because they could have went deep again, right? That deep play, I think they went max protection. I want to say they had 2 tight ends in there blocking, and they had Gill running like a crosser. I don't remember if it was I think it was a crosser. It wasn't a post. I want to say it was a climb route. You know what a climb route is? It's where you just kind of climb up the field. You're not like running straight post, but you're climbing. That's what it kind of looked like to me, but I'd have to go back and watch it to find out exactly what it was. But I
couldn't bring myself to watch the version from TV from the version I saw live.
They never adjusted to stop the deep ball, but we wouldn't do it. So I thought the second half we were going to see it.
I thought so too.
Maybe we would have if we would have had a healthier, Sullivan or whatever. But
if he's in the game, you still got to do whatever you can do. And I think it wouldn't have, if he's healthy enough to be on the field and run around, I would think he'd be healthy enough to max protect and throw the ball deep. Let your receivers go to work. The receivers could have ate against UCLA.
Yeah.
But we didn't even try.
Well, and to be fair, the receivers did eat versus UCLA. I mean, first of all, we had a 100-yard receiver for the first time, and God knows how.
Yeah,
long. Gill. All of our receptions were actually to wide receivers. Flip that from a year ago where we had games where we had receivers who didn't catch a ball.
Right,
Yeah.
but the quarterbacks
Everything went to tight ends or running backs. So
right,
Yeah.
but they
Well,
still
that last
only,
that our last touchdown drive, I just had a gut feeling we were going to score a touchdown after they took the 3 points off the board and decided to go for it. I shot video on every one of the plays after that, and just some of the things I could see on the video looked so cool. But I got the touchdown. But I got one play that gave it to KJ, and I think he lost yardage. But boy, I got him scrambling around pretty good back there, the backfield. Yeah. The one thing that Kelvin brings up, he just said Sully looked nervous. Did you guys see that on TV? Because obviously I can't see that in the stadium.
I didn't see nervousness. I saw a guy that got rocked a few times.
Oh, they came after him hard, didn't they?
I mean, because he opened up the game with the long pass. He looked confident. He looked ready to play. And UCLA just looked like to me like they got to him.
Yeah, they only threw the ball 15 times.
Iowa?
Right? Yep. Okay. That's all they threw was 15 times.
Yeah.
That's why they lost.
Are you surprised we gave up 200 yards of rushing to a team that's one of the worst rushing teams in college?
I mean, the defense, we already discussed this, but the defense, period, surprises the hell out of me. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about it.
It's a Jekyll and Hyde defense. You know, it's what the hell? You know, you guys care? You guys care 1 week, but the next week you don't care? I mean, you know.
I don't think it's a thing of caring. I just don't know what it is.
Well, I think it's, you know, it's one of those things where we don't have an elite pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have that guy, I mean, we try to hide the fact that we don't have an elite pass rusher by running stunts and doing different things. And on the back end, you know, we have a void at one corner and Harris, who's playing pretty well at the other corner, but you know, we're not forcing like coverage sacks because again, we've got half the field there is open just about any time you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, so, and we can't, and then on top of that, with injuries and stuff too, I mean, we were already shorthanded in the secondary. And now we're trying to cover guys with linebackers. We got Nick Jackson out there trying to run around, cover guys. We got who am I thinking of? He got the fumble in the end zone. Saved a touchdown. I don't know. I can't think of who it was, but
I missed it because somebody jumped up in front of me right when that happened, and I couldn't see it.
What play are you talking about?
The fumble recovery that saved a touchdown from UCLA getting a touchdown. We got the ball back.
That was I can't remember who the hell that was either.
I'm drawing.
I know exactly.
But you know, we've tried him way too many times in pass coverage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he can't. He just, God bless him, he just can't stick with running backs and tight ends and receivers. He just can't.
Oh yes, Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. You just when you said whatever reason when you said he can't stay with running backs and tight ends, it was just Fisher.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
We've been saying it all year. We've been asking for a dime package and get Fisher off the field all year.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
Fisher does get smoked a lot.
I mean, you think what's going on is why can't we fix this defense? Why can't we get it like it was? I mean, we haven't had a defense this poor in a while.
We don't have an elite pass rusher, and we have a void at the right corner spot or left corner spot, however you want to look at it.
I thought it was right corner.
Well,
to me, this is just like that 2010 season. That was awful. Remember, we had everybody coming back after 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The hype was huge on 2010.
Mhm.
Hell, they probably started the season ranked in the top 15 or higher.
Yeah.
In 2010, I'm not sure exactly what their rank was to start the season, but then we just started losing this game, losing that game, and then they show up and they beat a top 10 Missouri in the bowl game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So against,
was that the year that we pretty much lost out in November? We just kind of like lost every game in November.
It was weird. It was just a weird year. It was the year of the pot smoking Robinson, the running back, Adam Robinson. So he got kicked off the team. And then Brandon Wager got Adam Robinson's sister pregnant. So then he was gone. He had to leave. So they had Coker.
Are you sure it was Adam Robinson's sister? Because I thought he moved back to Sioux City to take care of that baby.
Well, no, that's what I mean. But it was Adam Robinson's sister that he got pregnant.
Right. We'll see. Okay. I would have thought he would have moved to Des Moines to take care of that baby then.
Hell, I don't know where the hell the baby went. I'm just telling you what happened. And then Marcus Coker ended up being true freshman. Marcus Coker, I believe, ended up being the running back at 2010. I think. I know he was a running back in the bowl game, but I don't know exactly when he.
I think he went off for 200 yards in that game or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this year reminds me of that year with having so much talent, including a quarterback who was actually playing better than he did in 2009. Mm-hmm. I believe in 2010, Stanley threw 25 touchdowns and only 5 picks. Mm-hmm. Where in 2009, he threw 17 touchdowns and 15 picks. Remember, he was called the Ricky Pick Six or whatever we called him?
Yeah, Ricky Picky, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's what this year reminds me of. It's like we're having whatever happened in that year. It's kind of like 2005. We had that 2005 year as well. We come off of 2004, highly ranked in 2005, and then the wheels fall off. Mm-hmm. So, or was it 2006? It might have been 2006. It was Drew Tate.
2006, I think. Wait a minute. 2002, 3, and 4, we had 10 or 11 wins each of those years. Okay, so I think it's 05 where the wheels came off.
It could have been 05 then. Yeah, because remember Drew Tate's head got this big and just everything started falling.
Yeah, in those 3 years, we went 11 wins, 10 wins, 10 wins, finished number 8 in the nation all 3 seasons. And we thought we were on our way to big-time football.
We did.
Then reality set the following year.
And then to get back to this year's team and the defensive struggles, we seem to have a couple of games now, Michigan State and UCLA, where we just didn't tackle. And
this is definitely a game where they missed tackles a lot.
And, for the Iowa defense to be successful, especially if you don't have the elite pass rushers and the elite cover guys, then you've got to get them into, predictable passing situations where you can pin your ears back and really get after it. And their quarterback seemed fairly elusive. Even when we got pressure, he managed to get out of it. And so, there was more than a few times where it looked like we were going to get to him, and we just didn't.
Yeah. We had
I guess they did.
We just poor tackling him because a lot of times I thought we had that QB down, and all of a sudden he escapes and gets a pass off or makes his own yardage.
Well, they were able to run the ball against Nebraska too with their big guys up front. Yeah. So they've gotten better running the football the last few weeks. It's just a team getting better. It's a brand new coaching staff. Mm-hmm. They lost a lot of players because Chip Kelly left, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe they're just figuring it out now.
That could be. That could be. So, just kind of like this, sneak a peek a little bit. Let's head to Maryland and maybe Nebraska. I know we don't play them, one in 2 weeks and one in 3 weeks, but tell me, what do we have to do to win both of those games? If they even care about winning them. I don't even know if they even care anymore.
Of course they care.
They care. You really think they lost by 3 points to UCLA because they don't care?
Yeah, true.
Tell me the team in America, any of them, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon. Tell me the team that can go on the road in the conference and is playing your fourth or fifth string quarterback and lose the game by 3 points. Like that just doesn't happen.
I mean, that's where we're at right now. Is we're talking about a loss UCLA by 3 points at UCLA, with injuries right down the list.
Well, I think it's amazing that we even lost by 3 points and had a chance to win the game.
Correct.
Because
the defense
we were totally dominated.
Another chance.
Yeah. We were totally dominated that entire game. So I'm thinking the turnovers really help. I mean, that's one of the things where the defense shined on those turnovers.
Well, we gave it right.
That helped keep us in the game with a chance to win or tie at the end there.
Yeah. I don't think so, because we gave it right back to them. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't the turnovers a wash? Was it 3 to 3?
I think it was like 3 each or something, or 4 each.
Yeah, I think it was 3 each. But so I think turnovers are a wash. I don't think we got dominated the whole game. I think we got dominated between the 20s, like sometimes happen. For sure, UCLA had the ball for 37 minutes, running the football. And it's not like they scored a ton of those 37 minutes, but they got a lot of first downs that they never should have got to keep drives alive.
Yeah.
And they had the ball with 4 minutes to go when they got the ball back? And all we needed was a 3 and out, or 3 minutes to go, to give Stratton another shot at it. And maybe KJ, I don't know why KJ wasn't in, but to give KJ
did they even talk about that in the broadcast? Why KJ wasn't in there? Our number one offensive weapon.
No, but I mean, when it comes to the passing, maybe they were just thinking about they came out and I believe they threw 3 straight passes, right?
Yeah.
But
here's the thing: we had 4 minutes to move that ball downfield. KJ could have broke at any time. He could have broke one.
Well, right, but they threw the ball. That's my point.
That's why I say they shouldn't have been throwing. We had time to run the ball. We did not have to hurry up and throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, UCLA backed off, and then we fell right into their trap with Stratton. When Stratton came in, UCLA backed off.
Yeah,
I don't
think Tim Lester earned his money in this game.
What?
I think Tim Lester didn't earn his money in this game. He needs to write a check back for this week.
No, Lester failed this game. A lot of it was on him.
I think we value punt return a little too much, especially if we're not forcing the other team to punt the football.
Yeah, how are we supposed to work on punt returns when we can't punt when we don't force a punt?
So, I mean,
right? I mean,
Weechin has to be one of our most dynamic athletes.
Yeah,
we're saving him for what, on average, 3-4 plays a game.
I remember getting close. I don't remember when we finally forced the one punt, but it might have been in the second half. But I remember getting close to halftime and turning to the guy and go, I just realized they haven't forced a punt yet tonight.
Right. And so, I mean, why are we bottling up Weechin for punt returns or punt and kick returns? These things are just, would we be so worse off if he got hurt being a wide receiver that, we couldn't return punts? Or I'm just, the offense is struggling. You're using a 5th string walk-on transfer quarterback. We're lucky we can get out of the huddle with him. And,
now I know what the problem is. Who's for the defense? Who was running the scout team this week? That's why the defense couldn't figure it out. They didn't have anybody running the scout team.
Yeah, they didn't have. Who was the scout team quarterback? Who the hell knows? Probably that. Probably. Oh, what the hell's his name? Gerber. Kyler.
Sorry, guys.
Kyler. Tyler Garrity. Probably him. He's probably one running the scout team. He's a kid. He's a DB from like small town Iowa.
You mean the guy who was typically our 6th string quarterback?
Yeah.
That we hopefully we weren't supposed to get that far. Kirk's worst nightmare. What happened this game?
Girardi, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, Kelvin. I knew it was something like that.
I think we
I
even
know his
talked
first
about
name's
him earlier.
Kyler, but I have no idea how to pronounce that. Girardi is how I'm going to pronounce it, so I find out.
Yeah.
On top of all of that, and I think we talked about this in our preview show, but last week the clocks go back an hour. Then, they go west 2 time zones and they go another 2 hours. So, I mean, these guys, by the time the game ended, it was 12:30 here.
So what you're saying is their body clocks, when it kicked off at 6 o'clock here, their body clocks were really at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 8, 9 o'clock. Yeah. And
well, 8 o'clock at the actual time, but because we
right.
set the clocks back an hour, they would have been 9 o'clock.
And so this was on a short week. I don't know what day they actually traveled. They may have traveled on Thursday or Friday.
They did travel on Thursday.
They traveled on Thursday. So they didn't have their normal prep, their normal stuff, film sessions, walkthroughs, different things. I'm sure they had to tie up loose ends academically before they traveled for Thursday and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a tough spot to be in. And then the quarterback situation and our receiver situation. It's amazing we scored it all.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Pick your top dog. Georgia.
It's amazing we scored without a long run by KJ. Right? That's what, if everything else is falling apart, KJ usually gets a long run in there. But Amy said she didn't go, Dean, but Kent and his family went.
Yeah. So, like I said, that was Kent.
She said the only game she's going to make it to is the Nebraska game.
Okay. Yeah. No, like I said, I wish I could have remembered Kent's name at the time. Otherwise, I would have said something about, "Hey, Kent, can I get a picture with you?" But, I would have probably been about his elbow.
Oh, yeah.
That sucker was so tall.
There's a reason why he was a basketball player. Those people aren't short usually.
No, I bet was he like 6'4" or something like that? 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, he's out there somewhere. I just remember him. He was my favorite player. When he played
everybody. When he was pumping those threes, everybody's favorite player.
He had 7 of them to beat Kansas, and Kansas was like #1 in the country or something. That was the best game in the world.
I'm just sorry that I couldn't remember what his name was, so I could have said something to him as a fan. Got a picture with him, but it would have been dumb. Hey, you, can I just get a picture with you? I know you played basketball, but I can't think of your name right now.
Right.
And I know you're the one that hit all those 3-pointers.
I recognize you. I don't know who you are, but I know you're somebody special. Can I get a picture?
Oh, that was what I was trying to do, though, when I went through that tailgate, was trying to see if I could spot any former Hawkeyes there, And the one thing that disappointed me through is we had every Iowa tailgate, and I never found Hawkeye Elvis.
Oh, no.
Never. And he was at the game.
Okay, he was
there.
he
was there.
Yeah, I know he was there. He did a podcast the other night for another friend of mine, and he was podcasting from there, from California. But dang it, I really, really, really wanted to meet him, and so I thought, well, if I just keep going to all the tailgates, I'm bound to run into him sooner or later.
True.
But maybe he's such a celebrity now, he pulls up in a limo and runs right into the stadium.
He's just a millionaire donor to the University of Iowa, having fun with life.
Yeah. I know it. But it's so fun because he does have fun with this, and I love it. I would love to have a picture next to him.
Yeah.
You could be wrong on this, but I heard he was like a dentist or something.
Oh, really? I know he had some knee surgeries about the same time I did.
I don't know how he got it.
We were messaging back and forth about it. On private
I don't know. I just know he's a big donor. That's all I know about him.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did, how he got his money. Nothing like that.
Yeah, apparently he can leave his job when he wants to, and because he lives in Minneapolis and he can travel as much as he wants.
There you go.
Yeah, but like you said earlier in the game, I was just thinking, I was surprised at how many Iowa fans traveled from Iowa City, some by car, some by plane, that went to that game, how much of a big deal it was to them. And I just like, no matter what bowl game we go to, I have a hard time feeling that these same people are going to spend money again to go to another bowl game.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's what everybody says. Like, people don't understand Iowa at all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you remember how many stadiums they filled up for Caitlin on the road?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Our bowl games, we always go to our dang bowl games regardless.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Iowa always gets a better bowl than what they deserve. I remember one year when they jumped Northwestern, even though Northwestern was the better team. They put Iowa in because they knew Iowa fans would sell out, and then Northwestern fans don't.
Well, I think that was the year Northwestern lost the Big Ten championship game. They were the West champion. And obviously, they beat Iowa head-to-head that year.
Was that 2020? Was that the 2020 year or the 2021 year?
Might have been
2021. Iowa was in, right?
I think we did 22 and 20. No, 23 and 21. We did. Yeah, you're right. 23 and 21. We were the champs.
Yeah. I think it was that.
Purdue was in between that, so 20 was Northwestern.
I think it was
no, they couldn't have been. No, Northwestern couldn't have been 20 because Iowa and Indiana were the only two winning teams in the Big Ten that year.
Yeah, I don't know. But to go back to what Kelvin said about Sullivan, I just want to say that if he thinks he looked nervous, maybe that's it. Because he had games like that at Northwestern. He just has horrible games. So maybe that's just how he is when it comes to games where he just gets the jitters in certain games, right? I mean, that was a huge stadium. That was probably – how many people sit in that stadium, Dean?
Oh, shoot.
How many people can the Rose Bowl seat?
I think it's over 100,000.
Yeah.
I can look that up if you want me to.
And they had a whole bunch of the seats covered because they don't sell that many tickets for regular UCLA games. And then they obviously take those covers off and stuff for the actual Rose Bowl game.
How many seats in the Rose Bowl?
Right. I mean, he could have been nervous. I just didn't see because I was expecting that from Sullivan anyway, right? I told everybody this is my game to watch. If he does good this game,
are in the Rose
Bowl.
I
was going to jump on the Sullivan bandwagon. Right. I was going like, okay. And then he did what he did, which is what I was expecting. So, yeah, and I'm getting so much hate about that, too, because I gave positive comments about Stratton. So then people started using Stratton's true freshman air raid stats, not understanding that the air raid is extremely hard for a quarterback to learn, right? As far as the option routes and stuff they ran. But, so then people are just hating all over the place now. KF gone. Sullivan, he needs to start. Stratton sucks.
Maybe we should move on to our picks because we're over.
Sure. Okay. Paul, you sure you want to know about this?
Before Paul goes to sleep. Paul looks like he's falling asleep. But he does that all the time.
Yeah.
I forget you're in Florida sometimes, so it's always late in Florida. And don't you get up at like 3 a.m.?
Yeah, and I umpired 3 games today. And
wow. And you still had time to watch football. Okay.
And basketball.
Paul, you went 2-5 this week. Your only wins were Indiana and Penn State.
Yay.
Okay, Jason, you went 4-3. Your wins were Alabama, Penn State, and Indiana. I went 5-2 because I went against the grain and picked Kansas and Ole Miss. Sorry, guys, I got those right.
Who did Ole Miss beat? Georgia?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm the only one that picked Kansas to beat Iowa State. And then, of course, we all lost the Minnesota game. We all lost the Iowa game. After that, we all just took turns winning and losing games.
I think I was pretty close on the score. I think I said 24-17.
You said 24-10.
24-10. Okay.
2013 is mine. And Jason was 17-13.
We were pretty close then.
We're all in the general ballpark.
Yeah. We knew there was going to be a bunch of points scored.
Right.
No, we knew that. We knew that. We just hoped that Iowa had come out on top.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we're going to, the team's on a bye week. I think I'm going to take a bye week this week on the Tuesday night show and Sunday night next week. And then we'll come back together Tuesday next week and do a Maryland preview, if you don't mind. I'm going to do some basketball stuff in between this week with some other people.
I have 2 games Tuesday night anyway, so that works for me.
That's perfect. Yeah, I promise everybody while you're still watching, I will be getting Molly Tide back on here this week. I think we're shooting for Thursday, and we're going to do it live. So I invite everybody who watches this to come and join us. It should be a really good show. I've been getting to know her through Facebook Messenger, and she's just really a hyped up person who's just bleeds black and gold, even though she has a little UCLA still in her.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's going to be fun. I'll check it out for sure. And when are you going to do the wrestling one with Jared?
I think I want to go next week on that one I don't know. Maybe I'll try to do it this week yet. It's just I want to do some basketball stuff too, and they got basketball games all this week, I think.
Yeah.
I think both teams are playing a lot of basketball this week, so I want to kind of sneak in the basketball preview for the women and then get the wrestling one done.
Yeah. Okay.
So, guys,
in 2 weeks.
Okay, if you guys are still online, hit that like button right now. Online. And if you haven't subbed yet, hit the sub button now, please, and then share it. And like I said, share it this week. You get to share it to your UCLA friends because they're going to charge out of this.
Yeah.
Bye.
And one last
we're
time,
out.
thank you again to the veterans that watch our show.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Veterans Day tomorrow. Yeah. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Yep. See ya.
Mhm.